I like this. What else did you screw up, Dell?
I feel like I'm doing a TikTok video. Talking about how she's sitting over there listening, watching us.
I say why not?
I mean...
All right. Well, welcome to the very first episode ever.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
That makes sense.
I don't even know what we're going to call this. Yeah. I think we're going to call it like Happy Hour with the Keller Halls team or Keller Halls team Happy Hour.
Okay. So are we going to drink at the same time?
I mean, I have water.
Okay.
Do
I have
you have
nothing.
anything?
You didn't even offer me anything.
I know. I really don't know what we're going to call it. You have any ideas?
No. I think that sounds great.
So here with Dell Hamilton today. Dell, you build houses.
That is correct.
And company name is?
Ohana Homes.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. So how did you get into the real estate world?
Oh, man. We've been always dabbling. Even when we got married, we just wanted to flip houses and kind of get into it a little bit. But I think partly what's cool about this whole experience, you know, you and I got into real estate years and years ago.
Do you remember what year?
Oh, man. I'm going to go 2010.
I was thinking it was 11, but maybe it was 10.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So that really got us into it. We got that triplex and started there, and then got some duplexes, and which we still own today, which is super cool. So that's really what got us into the real estate world and just the feel for this is exciting. I like this.
What were you doing before real estate?
So I was working at a logistics company, actually working with my dad years ago. So, but nothing really to do with real estate at all. It was just something we did on the side.
Yeah. And so then to clarify, we were friends, I guess, and decided back when the real estate market was awful during the Great Recession that it'd be a good idea to go buy this triplex that was a foreclosure.
Yeah.
And so got together and we did that and kind of snowballed on some things.
Yeah.
So then you were working logistics. You got into real estate sort of passively. And then talk about when you jumped in full time. Yeah.
So I had some unfortunate logistics world things happen where we had to file bankruptcy, the company that I was at. And so I was sitting down and meeting with somebody, and we're just talking through what that was going to look like for the business that I was at. And he was a builder. And so we started talking about just processes and managing people and those type things. And he needed some help growing his business. So we came in, my wife and I both came in and started working as with the builder here in town. So that's really what got us into it.
So what were you doing for the builder?
I started doing just like customer relations and managing the design team. So that was really what the first part of the business looked like. As time grew, we had built, I think, 45 houses the first year we were there, and then it went to 75, and then it was at 120. And so while we were at that builder, we built almost 350 homes. And so because of that, I got to touch every piece of the business. I got to touch design, customer care, warranty, production team, purchasing, estimating, the sales team. Literally got to learn every piece of the business at that company. So that's really what got me into what does day-to-day building look like.
And when you say we, you mean your wife.
My wife, yes.
Who is not in front of the camera.
No.
She is in the room.
What's cool is she worked at the company. She got hired on to do accounting work 2 weeks before I got hired on. And so she came into that company right away to do accounting work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are both working there.
Yep.
And the company grows.
Yes.
And you're taking on more responsibility.
Yes.
And then what happens?
And then about 5 years ago, we just were, this is where part of our name Ohana comes from, because Ohana means family. And so we realized that we were putting so many hours into a business and not into our family that we said, you know, we're going to need to make a change. We just need to go do this on our own. She has all the accounting experience. I have the other experiences of the business. We just need to go do this on our own. So 5 years ago, we left that company and started our own company, Ohana Homes.
Ohana Homes.
Yep.
And what is, and Ohana means family in what?
In Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yes.
Hawaiian.
Yes, Hawaiian. That's true.
In Hawaii, it means that everywhere.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're on a trip to Hawaii.
And what's funny is our son came up with the name because we were like, what do we name our company? And he's like, well, this is about family and helping people build their home for their family. And you want more time with your family. So that's where the name Ohana came from.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that was 5 years ago.
Yes.
And I mean, walk us through in the last 5 years what that's looked like. I mean, so you got on your own. It's got to be kind of crazy. Like, where's the business going to come from?
Right.
What are you going to do?
Right.
So, like, what was the first year like?
Yeah, chaos. Yeah, sort of. I mean, you learn really, really quick what you're good at when you're on your own and what you're not good at on your own. And so you start getting into it and you're like, oh, man, I'm not great at this piece of the business. I got to figure out how to surround myself with people that are good at that. And so just for me, you know, I enjoy my relationships. I enjoy doing life with other people. And so, you know, I knew that Sharon knew the accounting side really, really well, which, as you know, you build a house. Like, if you don't know your numbers, just forget it. You're never going to make any money, or you might get lucky every now and then. I knew the other pieces of the business. The hardest part for me was making sure we were getting new business, and you weren't spending so much time in the business, but you were spending time on the business. And so when it's just the two of you early on, all you're doing is spending time in the business day to day, like, okay, let's make sure this trade is here, and let's make sure we're paying those bills. But at the same time, you're going, okay, we got to grow. We can't just sit here and wait for a house to come to us. We got to figure out how we're going to get new customers. And so the first year or two was wrapped around, what are we doing every day? Who are the trades we're using? Who are the partners that we have that can really help us build good quality homes? And then from there, it was like, okay, how are we going to grow, and how are we going to make sure we're getting new business on a consistent basis?
So any sleepless nights when you're thinking about that? Like,
yeah.
Like, was the question ever, like, can we do this? Is this going to work? Do you ever have any doubt?
No, never a doubt of, can we do this or will it work? It was just how. What are we going to do day in and day out to make sure that it works? One thing, I mean, I really have learned that whatever you put your mind to, like, just go get it. It's up to you. You're on your own. Go make it happen.
Motivational speeches by Dell Hamilton.
Well,
I love it.
I mean, it is true, because you start sitting there going, okay, we got a new customer because word of mouth. And well, what if that doesn't happen?
And so it's not just you and Sharon. I know it's family.
That's right.
Let's talk about the whole organization at this point.
Yeah, what that looks like. So, so currently there's 6 of us now. We have 4 support staff. We have I guess you call them a superintendent. We have a purchasing and estimating / scheduling person. And then we have we just hired an accounting person, so that's really exciting. And then we have one other admin person in the office. And so what's really kind of neat, and I know it's hard to work, they say it's hard to work with family, but my sister works for us. Sharon's brother-in-law works for us. So, sorry, her brother. Yeah. My brother-in-law.
Are you nervous, though? Yeah, are you nervous about this?
Exactly. Yeah. Slow down.
It's all good,
Yeah,
man.
you know, like when you're going to go speak, you get really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a big picture question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What makes a good builder? What makes a builder good?
You know, I used to think at first when we got started that the trades were because they did that job, they were the expert.
Where are you from that you call them trades? Because around here we call them subs.
Subs, trades, they're the same thing.
Just so everybody knows what we're talking about. Your plumbers, your electricians.
Subcontractors.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
You know, and I remember being at a house and I would ask a question and they would, like, about how to do something, and they would give me the answer. And my first reaction was, oh, they know, okay, they do this every day. They know what they're doing, so I must be good to go. Well, you find out really quick which one of the subcontractors are just blowing smoke and which one of them are not. And so for us, what I feel like makes a big difference is that obviously having good subs that do know what they're doing, that's important. But as a company, we're the ones responsible for the house. And so it doesn't matter what sub or trade is in there, that we know what's supposed to be done and what is the right way to do it, and that it's getting done the way we want it done. No one thinks, wow, I wonder what subcontractor painted this house. They don't think that. They just think, is this an Ohana home or not?
Yeah.
And so it's our responsibility to make sure all those subcontractors are meeting a certain standard.
You want to know what I think makes a good builder?
This ought to be good.
No,
the
this
nicest looking lipstick on a pig?
No, absolutely not. Here's what I've learned. So, you and I started buying real estate before I got my real estate license. I had a day job as well. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And the best way I can put it to somebody is is the builder a good person? And I don't know how you quantify that to somebody on the front end without knowing them and meeting them.
Yep.
But do they pay their subs on time? Right? Like if the subs are constantly having to go after and get it paid, they're not going to be as motivated to work for them. Yeah. When something goes wrong, are they going to fix it? Are they going to make it right? Or are they going to go, well, that's not something I have to cover?
Right.
That to me is like the difference between a good builder and a bad builder, because I feel pretty confident in saying you don't put the first nail in the house.
Oh, yeah, no.
You're not physically building the house, but you're in charge of it. And you're in charge of picking who does what,
right?
Making sure people stay in budget, it gets done the way they're supposed to,
right?
And then you're responsible for the final product.
Right. Well, that's why your staff and your subcontractors are so important.
Yep.
And the system behind that.
Yeah. How do you keep people on budget, or do you?
Well, when you're talking custom homes, that's a challenge, right? Because nobody wants to hear, hey, another $60,000 is owed, So for us, we start everything with the budget on the front end. This is what we sit down and we spend hours and hours going through somebody's floor plan and what we think it's going to cost and what that's going to get them at the end of the day. And then throughout the build process, every question that we ask goes against how does that fit into the budget. So we're never 4 months in going, oh man, how did we miss that? There's another 30. We're seeing that stuff immediately.
So would you say Sharon's in charge of that?
Yeah, 100%.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
We
don't need you in charge of that part. Well, genuinely don't know the answer to this. You have poised your wife as the numbers person. But is she also / the designer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. When we started, it was, working with your wife can be challenging.
I could never do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, babe.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
Would never work.
And I know she's the boss, so that helps a ton.
Wow. Brownie points right here in the studio.
No, what we decided early on was we have to be very clear in who's doing what. Because, I thought when I left the other builder that I knew it all because I had been in all departments. And so I thought I knew best. Well, that's obviously not true at all. So her responsibility was, when we first started, accounting, all the accounting work and all the design work. And so as we've grown, we've now brought in an accounting person. So she's being able to have someone else do that. And she's getting to do more of the design work, which she ultimately enjoys more.
I will tell you, just from what I know, 100% you guys are dead without your wife. So
yeah,
she makes it go. Yeah. She's got the touch.
You walk in, and I think that's what's cool about the team, the two of us. I really care about a process. That's what I care about. The end product. Yeah, obviously I want it to look good, but I want how we get there to flow smoothly. That's what I enjoy about. That's not her world.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you saying that you build a house on time?
Yeah, depends on what time you're talking about and what expectation I set on the front end.
Exactly. So you say this one's going to take 7 months.
Yeah.
You feel like you're pretty good at hitting that.
Oh yeah, we'll make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it can't all be sunshine and rainbows.
No.
There have to have been some mistakes made along the way.
Yep.
You got any you're willing to share with us?
Oh yeah. Yeah. The first one that comes to mind, we have a couple of lots that were put pretty close together, and the property line went straight, but the driveway we poured didn't quite go straight, and it curved over onto the neighbor's property.
Okay.
And so
you're not building a house for that neighbor.
Well, we were, but it had already closed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so we poured 1.5 feet onto the other property, and that's something you want to leave long term. The immediate people might look at it and go, not that big a deal, but 10 years from now,
Yeah, you go to sell the house. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the things that you don't think about is like you think about the now, but not like 10 years from now. And so the homeowner was going to do a fence, and he comes to us and he's like, hey, this doesn't look like it's in line. Sure enough, about a, I don't know, 20-foot section was 1.5 feet on the neighbor's property. Mm. Well, what really stunk about that was it was a curved driveway. And so in order to make it not feel like we literally just took 20 feet out, we had to take 115 feet out.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So $6,500 later. And my response was, obviously this sucks, but what's the right thing to do?
Yeah.
And let's just do it and move on.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So, yeah.
Ooh, what else? I like this.
Yeah.
I like this. What else did you screw up, Dell?
Oh, man. We tore it out and put a new driveway in.
Yeah. Everybody's going to make mistakes, but when you fix them, it's okay.
Yeah. I was always taught it's not really about it. I mean, yeah, you don't want to make mistakes, but it's how you respond to the mistake. That's the important part.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we fixed that guy's driveway really quick.
And he would probably recommend you to do
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or he'd say, man, they're an idiot. How'd they do that?
Okay, so I get a lot of times people will call and they'll ask if a builder has lots available, or they'll go out and they'll look for land, and do they buy the land first? Do they talk to the builder first? And talk to us about that. Like, what's your experience?
Yeah.
That it works best.
Yeah, and quite frankly, that's why some people pick lots in a neighborhood, because it's more simple, right, to go through that process. But you have HOAs and different restrictions and those type things. When you're buying on your own piece of land, you potentially aren't going to have those things, but there are a lot of risk. And so I like to personally get involved as early on as possible, because go ahead.
Will you get involved before they're under contract on a property? Like they're thinking about buying this one.
Yeah, 100%.
You'll go out there with them and look at it.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Because I want to be able to raise any red flags, because I wouldn't want to get stuck in that situation myself. And so, and the things you don't think about that are the biggest impact is the soil and like septic system. That's literally like the number one thing. If you can't figure that out or know what that is on the front end, then you potentially are. I mean, I know a family today that bought 25 acres. They came here from another city. They bought 25 acres, and they got super lucky that the land played out, but they almost didn't have the ability to have a septic system.
So you're telling me there's land out there in our area that you can buy, and the county government might come in and say, you can't put a house
Yeah,
on
it was in Georgia, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. But, I wouldn't want anybody to get in that situation where they literally bought a piece of land and then are going, I don't know where I'm going to put a house. Or maybe you only can put a 2-bedroom and not a 4-bedroom.
Yeah.
So big problem.
But what do you do when the soil scientist says, I'm 6 weeks out from doing a test?
Yeah. Well, I would lean on you as the agent, right, to try to, how do we set up a due diligence period or something along those lines?
Yep. And just because there's people who might watch this who don't know, but like there are different septic systems that they can require you to put in. Yep. Some are a lot more expensive than others. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of those costs you're talking about. You don't think about, you've got a budget to build a 2,500 square foot house is going to cost you X. Right. I get that call a lot. They go, hey, what's a reasonable dollar per foot to build a house on my land? And I'm like, well, I do not have enough information to give you that answer.
Yeah, I get all the time, and I'm like, well, I can go anywhere between $200 to $400 a square foot. So what do you want to talk about?
Yep. Is your land flat? Is it cleared? How far off the road are you? What kind of septic system do you have to put in? Yep. Your kitchen, are we putting in a $50,000 kitchen or a $250,000?
That's exactly right.
And people don't get that far into it. And And the other thing that I always get a kick out of is people love dollar per foot, and it is something that we use a lot. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about that at all?
No, go ahead. Go ahead and ask the question first.
Well, that's not really a question. I'm just talking.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It's simple to. Well, I think that's because you see things on the market.
Yes. At
$210 a foot.
Yep.
And you're going, okay, can I do it for 200 or 185 or
but
something
even
less.
Within that number, the kitchen might be valued at $300 a foot, and the bonus room is valued at $400 a foot. And so if you have a 2,800 square foot house with a huge bonus room, it's going to be a different dollar per foot than the 2,300 square foot house that has the same size kitchen. Yep. And people don't understand how to look at it that way, that you really have to select things before you get to a price.
Well, and on top of that, square footage on a house that's completely one story to square footage that's going up, same square footage has two different dollar figures. They just do. And
which one's more expensive?
Yeah, the one that's got it all spread out, the footer and the foundation.
Which I have found most people think it's the other way around.
Right.
They think it's more expensive to go up.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just get into little, like you have different bump outs and, well, now the siding, different types of siding pieces have to be done and different corners for the block, which means more waste for the block. I mean, all those little things just keep adding up and adding up and adding up. And so you can't just say, well, I have 3,000 square foot. What's my price per square foot going to be?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to get into the weeds. I got to see your plan. I got to talk finishes. I got to see. That's why I like going and looking at the land on the front end. And, you know, I would assume, I don't know what other builders do, but I would assume most people that care about that kind of stuff would be able to say, yeah, I want to do that with you.
So here's a good question. Somebody comes to you and they've got a piece of land and they've already done the soil test. They've got the utilities stuff figured out. And they come to you and they say, okay, we're going to talk to you and we're going to talk to two other builders and we just want you to bid it. How much time are you spending on that?
Oh, man.
How many hours are we talking?
I mean, probably 40.
Really?
Yeah. By the time I'm putting their budget together and meeting them on site and all that kind of stuff, yeah, it's heavy lifting.
Do you do any kind of like due diligence on the buyer before you invest that kind of time, or do you need anything from them before you do?
Well, that's why I'm spending time with them, and so we go walk their land, and I can get a sense from that, and then we'll do a discovery meeting where Sharon and I are doing the meeting together, and we get another sense on that. And then from there, as you're just kind of going through the process, you can get a feel for, are we going to work together well or are we not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what areas do you like to work in, will work in?
I mean,
and where's your office?
we're in Ooltewah. There's an amazing ice cream place called Crispy Cones. We're right beside. Have you ever been there before?
I have not.
Oh my goodness. It's different, and that's what makes it, like, good. It's not your traditional, like, here's a cone and here's some ice cream. The cone is like a pastry,
Okay.
like a donut pastry almost.
Okay.
And you put, like, a spread. I'm getting off. Anyway, that's where our office is. We're right beside them.
Okay.
And it's right across the street from Chick-fil-A at the Ooltewah exit.
So, I mean, we just sold one earlier this year that you built in East Brainerd. You've got one going on Signal Mountain that I think we're going to be showing some footage of that right
That's
now.
right, yep.
That's a really cool house. Why don't you talk about that house first?
Yeah, so custom home. It literally was just a recommendation from somebody. That's how we got the account. And the clients are amazing. I mean, they're good people. We just see, we're just very similar in how we look at things. And so.
So they come to you, they call you.
Yep.
Do they have the land already?
They own the land.
Okay.
So I did exactly what I'm talking about. We drive up there. We've spent hours on their piece of land talking through, like, we had to clear trees. It wasn't flat. We knew where the septic area was located.
You got a lot of rock up there?
No rock.
Okay.
A lot of water.
Okay. Oh,
Yep,
springs.
exactly. So we've had to do a ton of work to, like, essentially pull out the bad, where the soil, where all the water's sitting, rebuild up the entire foundation with gravel. We had to get a soil engineer involved, French drain around the house.
Was this an over budget scenario?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so
Yeah,
nobody knew it.
That's exactly
you
right.
get started, you
Yep.
find a spring.
Yeah, well, the only thing we did know was that on paper it showed some drainage, but not where the house was going to go.
Doesn't look like a box in a
No.
neighborhood where there's
No.
100 others.
And-
So when's that house going to be done?
We are about to go to installation, so let's call it 120 days, I would say.
What are
somewhere in
your
there.
markers? That was interesting.
Yeah, usually when I get to drywall, I know 90-ish days.
I haven't been in a house you guys built yet that I thought,
Right.
that doesn't look great.
Right.
Yeah, they always look really good.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So far.
Thank you, Jake.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know that, like, knowing you guys for as long as I have and being in business with you with the rental properties that we still have, they just a reasonable, level-headed,
Yeah.
figure it out, not going to freak out for the most part.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think that you got to, like, analyze the situation and make a decision and move on.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about me for a minute.
Hey.
No, one thing that, like, I've learned over the years and doing the whole real estate agent, having a team, like, that's been a process building throughout, a long time, 13 years. I think I did the first 3 just kind of on my own and then started a team. And it's that you don't want to work with everybody. You can't.
No,
there are builders out there that I know if they called me right now and said, "Hey Jake, I've got 50 houses and we'd love for you to sell them." Well, like any agent in town would be like, "Okay, sounds great."
Right.
And I would just be like, "No thanks."
Right.
Not even a second thought about it. And it's not that they're bad builders necessarily. It's that we're not going to get along. I think that is such an underrated part of any sort of business.
Yep.
Now, I'm the type of personality, believe this or not, I actually want you to like me.
Oh,
weird. Like that's at Keller Williams, they have this personality assessment, and there's a D personality or an I, dominant influencer. I hate saying influencer because now it's like we're doing a freaking podcast and I'm an influencer. Right but I want you to want to work with me. And I feel like you guys are the same way.
Yeah.
You don't want to try to convince somebody to work with you.
No, but that's my point. If I show up and you like who I am in our process and you want to hire us, great. If you don't, that's fine.
Right.
It's really okay.
Yeah. There are other people who would be the D personality, and I know builders that way. I know agents that way, and it's like, no, you're gonna.
We're making this sale happen.
We're gonna make this happen,
right?
And I don't want to work with those kind of people, you know. So like, I enjoy working with you guys because I know that if something comes up, there is a problem, there's an issue, you're gonna get it fixed, and you're not gonna be. We'll keep it PG here. You're not gonna be a jerk about it.
Right.
Yeah, which is huge.
Yeah.
What I think. We're in the real estate business, and I see people, especially on our side, they get into it and they think, well, I'm going to be a realtor. I'm going to go show people 3 houses and they'll pick one because that's what happens on TV, and it's just fun and it's all this stuff. And they really focus on, I'm selling houses. And like, we are not selling houses.
It's a people business.
It's a people business.
For
and
sure.
yours is the same thing.
Yeah,
you're not a good builder because you are the best guy at building the house.
Oh, our house fall over if I was doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And people, I think that's just something people don't think about. Right. That like when I'm helping somebody buy or sell a house, I'm an advisor to them. That's the main. I mean, I need to know contracts and I need to know how to put it out there and all that stuff. But it's a people business.
Yeah. You know, I was at a session a long time ago and somebody was just talking through like sales. And, you know, you've got the car salesman person and there's that timeshares, those type things. And you're like, oh my word, these people are killing me.
Yep.
I got to make a decision and move on.
I have a great story, not real estate related. Right. You're going to remember this.
Okay.
Oh, I hope we don't hurt anybody's feelings. But if we do, it's okay.
Yeah.
So you and I get invited to somebody's house we knew them as well. And we were pitched, a multi-level marketing.
Pyramid scheme.
I mean, see, you're gonna hurt their feelings right off the bat. And so, like, they brought in pizza. They brought in like the guy above them. I think it was just the 4 of us, you and Sharon and Jenny and I, and then the couple and the people ahead of them.
Yeah, it wasn't many at all.
And we're sitting in the living room and they're going through their spiel, and it really wasn't awful. And then there's Dell, and you're sitting there, you're like, so how's this not a pyramid scheme? It's just like The Office. It's just like that scene in The Office where he goes up and draws up here. I think you almost went up and drew the pyramid over it. and you weren't a jerk about it. We actually left, and I think Jenny's like, well, Dell is from Ohio. I guess he's a little different than we are because we're all just sitting there being polite and pleasant. And again, you weren't a jerk about it, but you were like a straight shooter, like, nah, I'm not interested.
Yeah, no thanks.
So you're just that guy.
Those people pick me. They get me at Target too sometimes. Have you ever gotten caught by some of those people? I mean, it's been years, I guess, for that. But I'm like, dude, we just don't have time for that. Like, here it is. Okay, move on.
I feel like we're kindred souls in that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to sit. I mean, you will.
Yeah.
But you don't have to sit there for
an hour. Unfortunately, like, once I've seen it, though, and, like, made my mind up that's what it is, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's move on.
Yeah, that's one of my good Dell stories.
Yeah,
I like
good.
That one.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, what else, Sharon?
No, you guys are doing great.
I mean, what time?
Man, I think we've covered a ton of stuff.
I think we.
Oh yeah, we've covered a ton. I think
Taylor's next.
She's gonna be like, crap. I gotta go listen to all this. Sorry, Taylor.